Everybody, G-Bear here, out in the desert again for the weekend. Anyway, my first experiment here today is actually came out of necessity. I was doing some work with some of my cordless tools, and you'll see one of them right here, and the batteries. But what happened was the batteries were low, and I didn't have my charger with me, and even if I did, the charger is a 120 volt plug-in. But I do have 12 volt solar panels on the roof, and you can see my solar charger there is putting out 13 volts DC right now. It jumps every now and then and comes back down again, depending on shadows and things like that, if a cloud gets in the way. But I also noticed, I just looked over the top and I noticed that there's a lot of dust on top of the panels. So I'll get up there and clean those either later today or tomorrow. What's going on is the wind is blowing like crazy. So my other experiments had to be put on hold until I could get the wind to calm down a little. And here we are. So what we've got going here is there's my voltmeter ready set up, and I'm going to set it on 20 volts DC, and we'll let it zero down. And what we're going to do is, now this battery that's in here, this is a nice thing about Milwaukee, is they have these little lights built in on the handle here. When you squeeze the trigger, it tells you one light means low battery. When it gets up all the way to this side, that's a full battery. And what happened here was my first battery went dead. That's this one. And I had to find out which side was positive and negative. And they got these little tiny stamps on the bottom of this thing. I don't even know if you could read them. But anyway, what I did determine was when you're holding the battery in this position, looking at the word Milwaukee, the negative is on the left, positive on the right. And then when I pulled out one of my rigids, I noticed the same thing, is that when you're looking at it here, they've got them actually marked. So if you're holding it with the emblem towards you, you'll look down on here and you'll see that the negative is on the left and positive is on the right. So now to get down inside those, I had a problem. My little connectors wouldn't get in there, and I don't even actually have a charger that would work on here, so I had to come up with something. So I came up with these two little wires here. It's aluminum wire, some I used in my experiments before, and I taped one of them black so that it would be a negative, and we'll plug that one into the negative side. And then we'll take out another one here, and I had to flatten out the bottom here. I just hit it with a hammer up against something hard and then made it flat. And I'm going to plug that into the positive side. Now we'll take the probes here and we'll connect this one on here and this one on here. And we'll see, well, we've got 12.73 volts on there. Now that battery should be fully charged, but for some reason, did I switch them out here? Let's see. Sorry about this, folks. I'm right now working one-handed because I have to move around with the camera, and putting it in the tripod just makes it even worse. Okay, let's see what we've got in this one. I charged it to 13 volts, so let's see. Okay, now this is the low one, and you can see it's at 10.28 volts. Okay, now that's not going to give me any power to run my tool. It's a 12 volt tool, so I could probably get a little bit out of it. But here's what I'm going to do. Up here, I have a 12 volt light bulb on a cord, and the cord comes down and moves around my key machine here and comes down to this little jack, and that plugs into the 12 volt jack on the front of my controller. Now if you come up here, you'll notice that the light is burning. Okay, I don't know if you can see that with all the light in here, but yeah, that is burning. So I'm going to unscrew that, take that out of there. And now we have just a light socket hanging down. So I'm going to unplug that temporarily. And what I'm going to do is take a couple of my probe wires here. Let's see, I got them down here. Let's take the positive first. Sorry about the camera, folks. Again, I'm holding it with one hand while I'm working with the other. Now what I'm going to do is, down inside that socket, you see that center piece down there that would touch the bottom of a light bulb. That's the positive. So I'm going to clip the red on there. Okay, you can see that that's clipped in there. Now, I've got to take the negative probe. You're getting a tour of my van while I'm doing this, huh? Anyway, I come up here, and now this has to connect to the threaded sides of the socket. That's what the side of the light bulb threads into. That would be the negative. And again, I apologize for not having the camera on this while I'm doing it. But I've got to try to get my fingers in here, and I dropped the positive off. Okay, those alligator clips are going to be too thick to get in there, so I'm going to go to my homemade ones here. They've got smaller alligators on them. And let's see if I can get this one in there. Oh, we're having a whole bunch of fun here, folks. Okay, I am clipped on the negative. And you can see that on the side of there. And let's see if I can get the positive back in there without knocking the negative off. Yeah, looks like I got it. Okay, so we are hooked up here. Now we'll come back down to the battery. And I'll move it over where it'll be closer here. And we're going to connect, of course, the black one to the negative. And the red one to the positive. And we're going to start charging here. You'll notice that the voltage on the meter is going to flash between one number and then go up a number. I noticed it's the same thing before. See, it started at 1028, and now it's at 1029, 1028, back and forth. Now, as it charges, it's actually going, oh, wait a minute, we're not charging. We've got to plug in. Here we go. All right, now we're plugged in. Now you'll see the numbers start climbing. Here we go. This is what I wanted to show you. Look how fast that's climbing. It's going to jump up there really quick, but that's only for the primary charge. Once it gets up to 11 and a half, 11.9, it slows down, and it takes quite a while to go from there to the 13 volts is what I want to put into it to make sure that I've got a full charge. So anyway, as you can see, I can charge my batteries here, my cordless drill batteries, without using a charger. But it's very important that you stand here and keep an eye on it or check back every few seconds, because you don't want this thing to keep on going. There is no charge controller built in, as you would have on a normal plug-in charger that comes with the tool. So it's not going to shut off when it gets up to voltage. It's going to keep going. Now, if you notice, the charge controller for my solar panels have dropped down to 12.1, and it's going to hold there until this one gets to 12.1. And once the two of them have come together, then the solar panels keep on going and keep charging, and you'll watch them both climb together. And they do that within a 1/10 of a volt. Anyway, as you can see, I have no problem charging my cordless tools out here in the desert. So I'm not worried about not having a 120 volts outlet to be able to plug my unit into. Now I do have an inverter over here plugged into my solar charger, and that goes to a 12 volt house battery. Now I can turn on that inverter and get 120 volts, but the problem is that inverter is only 800 watts, and 800 watts is not going to power much more than a couple of light bulbs, if even that. I want to not use that because overpowering it's just going to cause it to go on shutdown, and then I got to wait to charge it back up. It does, however, run my key machine, and you can see the tag on the side of my key machine here. But for running anything heavier, yeah, actually I tried plugging a charger into it one time, and the charger blew the circuit. And I was doing another experiment here, which I'll show you in the next video, where I actually started working with this little baby here that came out of a Jenn-Air oven, and this is a ballast. I don't know if you can read all of that there. Kind of blurry, huh? Anyway, it says it's a 468 watt ballast, 118 volts, 60 cycle, 15 amps. And on this side here, it's a Keystone transformer. But you'll notice there's only two connectors on there. What I do is I bring my solar in on one connector positive and ground to the chassis. And then on the outside part of it, I take the positive off of this terminal and ground to chassis. And I hooked it up to my light bulb here. And my light bulb is 120 volt AC, 60 hertz, 7 watts, 5001 lumens, or 500 lumens, I'm sorry. And that's the one I used before on some of the other tests. It still has the switch hooked up. And I can actually get that to light, putting 12 volts DC into this little ballast, and I can get close to 40 volts AC out of it. It's enough to light the bulb. Not really bright, but it does light the bulb. This is a DC 12 volt bulb, and that comes with the those cheap Harbor Freight solar panels. But I can't complain about those. I've had them now for, probably 6 to 8 years on different locations. I have them on my motorhome, I have them on my tool shed, and they work just fine. Anyway, I'm getting a little long-winded. We're going to look at this now. We're already up to 11.66 and pushing 11.67. As you can see, it keeps climbing. It will get up to 13 volts, trust me. I'm not sure how to add videos to an existing video, but I will get down to that pretty soon, and I'll be able to cut these off and go up to the next video and quit boring you. Anyway, for right now, I'm gonna take a break and have a beer. Hey everybody, G-Bear back here. Okay, we've reached that point where the solar charger and the battery charge has come pretty close to matching each other. And now you're watching this one climb, and that one will climb at about the same rate. We're at 12.4 on the solar panels and 12.27 on the voltmeter, and that battery is definitely getting charged. And if I was to stand here and watch this, you see it climbing to 12.28, and we've got to get up to 12.4 before the solar charger would actually jump to 12.5, and the solar charger will always stay ahead of the battery. So I just wanted to show you that we're getting up there, and it's only been roughly 10 minutes, and I am charging a cordless battery in the middle of the desert using solar power. I'm back again, and this is coming up on the finals here. You can see that the battery is being charged off of that light bulb socket, which is a 12 volt DC light bulb socket. I got the wires all tied up there so that it hangs, because I use that as a nighttime light while I'm camping out here. And that comes down and around, and it's plugged in to my solar charger controller here. And I've got that plugged into a 12 volt outlet, and it is putting a charge into here. Now you see that this is at 12.59, okay, and that's at 12.5. You notice that there's no hundredths sequence on the number there, and I can't have a 12.59 on there also. But when this one goes to 12.6, so will that one shortly afterwards. Let's keep an eye on this. So we're flashing back and forth. It's almost there. It's almost there. It wants to hold. It wants to hold. Like I said, once we get up to the upper voltage on this battery, which I try to get 13 volts put into it, and that gives me a full charged battery. And for some reason right now, it's making a liar out of me. It's going to 12.61, and we're still at 12.5. Although we are at the end of the day, and the sun is low in the sky, I may not be getting all the solar input I should be getting, especially with dirty panels. But take my word for it, on the last battery I watched charge in the midday, it went up fairly even. As one climbed, the other one climbed. Right now it's not doing it, probably because I'm not getting the input I should be getting. That's my excuse anyway. Okay, signing off till the next one. Hey everybody, G-Bear back. One more quick one here. I had to plug my cell phone in because it was running down on charge, and you can see that dropped the charge down, or the input there, to 12.4, and on the battery charge we're up to 12.64, pushing 12.65 now. But what I'm about to do is I had to deflate my mattress so that you could get a view of this thing, because when the mattress is fully inflated it moves around it. So I plugged the mattress in because it has an AC pump on it. I plugged it into my inverter here, and I'm about to turn that on, and you can hear the inverter start. Now we're going to come over here and reach down to the switch on here. And it inflates the mattress right up into place. One of the nice things about camping is you don't have to give up all your luxuries. And I like a nice firm mattress, so I'm going to let it inflate for a little bit. You hear it start to whine now. And that should about do it. Let's see what the charge is down on here. Oh, we're down to 12.2, 12.3. So no big deal. And we're going to reach down in here and get a nice high-pitched whine there. We'll shut that down for now. Come over here and shut the inverter off. And we're back up to 12.4 on the charge. And on my battery, I got 12.64, pushing 12.65. So this one will be charged in a little while. And then I'm going to charge my rigid battery, because this one was just barely turning the drill, and I may need that tomorrow, so may as well charge them while I've got time here. The wind is starting to calm down a little bit. As you notice, you're not hearing all the whining and blowing of the trees anymore. So I'm going to go out there and get my dinner going. I'm going to have a lamb chop tonight with a baked potato and broccoli. That's it. Talk to you soon. G-Bear back. Okay, I finished charging my other battery here, and you remember I told you about the lights on the side? So let's see what we got here. Oh, look at that. All 4 lights lit. Perfect. Got a full charge on that battery. Now this one is a rigid battery. It's a different brand. And it's taking a little slower to build up, but it's getting up there. And I'm down to 12 volts on my solar panels. It's getting late in the day and the sun is almost ready to set. I've probably got about an hour left of sunlight out here, but I'm not getting direct sun on my solar panels since they lay flat on the van roof. And I don't know if I can get up there to show you. As you can see, I have my USB charger in the USB port here so that I can charge my cell phone. And let's see if I can get up on the roof. There's my solar panels right there. And, so I'll have to get up there and clean them. I don't know if I'll be able to do that here. I hate to pull the ladder out of here just to get up there, and as windy as it is, it'd be a pain in the neck. Anyway, I'm going to let this one charge up, and if I still have time before the sun sets, I'll show you how my little ballast here jumps up the voltage from 12 volt DC input to 40 volts AC output with enough power to light that AC 120 volt light bulb. And that's my potato. I'm going to save that one for breakfast. I'll make some hash browns. I have another one that's already out on the table, and I'm going to go get that one coated down and wrapped and ready to go on the barbecue along with my lamb chop. Okay, that's it for now. I'll see if I can get another video in. Oh, look at that. We're already up. They're going up on the 1172. But that's taking a lot longer than the other battery. Okay, back to